2020 and we are out at Whitefish Point. We're having a pretty good blow. Supposedly there are 14, 15 foot waves out here. The wind's coming out of the northwest, blowing probably, I don't know, 30, 35 miles an hour. And if you look out at the lake, you can see the size of the waves out there. When it gets like this on Lake Michigan, I always call them Christmas trees, but they're a little bit bigger up here. They're huge. But the lake's really blowing up pretty good. Whoa! Got water coming in. Got a lot of surf. Looking over here, pretty clearly see the Algoma Highlands of Canada. There are 3 freighters anchored in Whitefish Bay waiting for this to subside a little bit. Because it is nasty, you wouldn't want to be out there on even a lake boat today. Looking to the west now, down the beach. There's Sandra, of course she doesn't have any shoes on. I don't know if you can hear me with all this wind, but it is quite the sight out here. Beautiful. Okay, so what we have here is a little memorial for some of the guys who were on the Memphis down in 1975. So we got a deckhand, and then we have a watchman, and then we have Thomas Benson, who's up there on the Fitzgerald. So they put these memorials out here. I don't know if the family did it or what. It's been out here for a few years. There's a pretty big iron down there you can see. Some flowers that look like trillions across. This is right on the beach at Whitefish Point. Looking around again. And we just left Whitefish Point, came down to the harbor at Whitefish Point. And what we're looking at now is the old Brown's Fisheries buildings. These buildings were moved here for somewhere else, and one of them had an ice house in it. I think they stored ice they took out of the bay. In the wintertime they packed it in sawdust. So this is the original Brown's Fishery. This is where Tom Brown moved his operation from Munising back in, I think it was the 30s. And he had a 60-foot wooden fish tug that he used for many years. And then he got his first steel fish tug, and that's what we're looking at right here. This was called the La Belle, and it's still pulled up on the shore at Brown's Fisheries. Now, because we have such a big blow, there's a freighter that, an ore boat that's tucked up into a hidey hole out of the wind in Whitefish Bay, not too far offshore. There's actually 2 of them. There's one down by Paradise anchored, and there's this one up here. It looks like an American Steamship Company boat. But this is the harbor at Whitefish Point, and you can see the fishing fleets in here right now. That's the David Boyd. That's the research vessel for the Shipwreck Society. If you look beyond the pier, you can see the waves crashing over the Whitefish Point, the very end of the point. And now we are at the end of a trail out the Vermilion Road, and there's a Nature Conservancy sign out at the end of the Vermilion Road, and there's a trail that goes on top of a ridge. So you walk back the trail probably a mile, maybe a mile and a quarter, and you come to this lake. And I was told, I think it was last year at the board bachelor party at Andrews Lake. It's kind of a Paradise local camp out. Guy told me that if you bring a boat back here and launch it, that this is just a unbelievable brook trout lake. And I think it goes pretty far, but it's pretty marshy back here and I can't get any closer to the lake. So kind of an awesome little spot off the beaten path. Love to get a kayak out here one day. And we found another one of these little coastal ponds. They're always long and skinny, and they're in the what used to be the blueberry or cranberry bogs. You can see over here through the woods. this particular spot here a couple years ago. Sandra and I were up here, and we walked through here in July or probably early August, picking blueberries, and we heard something grunt, and sure enough, there's a bear laying down on the berries. So we turned around and went back. But anyway, this is a beautiful spot. You can see all the black spruce on that ridge back there. And we're probably 2 miles from the Vermilion Point life-saving station. Okay, tonight we're going to make you watch the moon coming up over Sault Ste. Marie. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a wind farm just under the moon, and it looks like there is a planet right next to the moon. Just a gorgeous night, early September, about 52 degrees outside, enjoying Labor Day weekend at the cabin. And we found another interesting spot. This time we were out Wildcat Road. Out Wildcat Road to the cemetery. There's a cemetery, Whitefish Township Cemetery. We checked that out, and now we are on a stretch of beach just west of Whitefish Point, and we're watching a freighter come out of Whitefish Bay into Lake Superior right there. So this is an interesting spot. It's a private nature preserve. We didn't know about it, so we came out here after going to the cemetery and found this really pretty little stretch of beach. It is September, so things are cooling off a little bit, but the air is really crystal clear and the visibility is quite outstanding. Looking down the coast right now to the west, I can see that the cabin out at the just past Saturn Park going towards Vermilion. Looks like another boat out there. I don't know if you can see it, but the freighter is coming fast out of Whitefish Bay. Looks like a Canada Steamship Lines boat. Different because it's got twin funnels, self-unloader. I checked Boat Nerds AIS, but there's not a lot of value in Boat Nerds AIS when you're in real time looking at these ships because it's so far behind. I mean, you look at the map and this ship is probably still at the Sioux, and it was there maybe an hour and a half ago. So I don't know the name of the ship, but she's moving pretty fast and not too far offshore. Another interesting place, this is the Whitefish Township Cemetery, and it is down Wildcat Road, of course, in one of the old settlements by Little Lake. It's a really old cemetery from the 1870s. Interesting topography. It's all, you know, pine trees and hilly in here. The interesting thing about the cemetery itself is how many unknown grave markers are in here. There's like dozens of unknown grave markers, and I think what happened was this was a private cemetery that wasn't deeded to Whitefish Township until 1955, so when it was privately owned, probably wasn't real well maintained, so a lot of the gravestones went missing. You can see one right here, it says unknown. Now it's owned by the Whitefish Township, so you know they're in here mowing and everything, and it's a lot better, but it's the typical UP cemetery where you've got a lot of personalization. There's a lot of plastic flowers and that sort of thing. But it was the House family is one of the original pioneer families, and there's a lot of House in here. And Clark was the family that owned one of the big cranberry farms up here. And if you read the book Remotely Yours, there's a lot of people that are buried in here that they found on the beach from the life-saving station at Whitefish Point. You can see the hill up there where there's more graves. We are in the first few moments of fall 2020. Right now it's about 9:30. Fall started at 9:15. We are at the Upper Falls at Tequamanon. Just starting to get some color now. The falls are kind of a low flow rate because it is late summer, early fall. Quite different when you come here in the springtime after the snow melt. You can take a look downriver towards the lower falls. Just starting to get some color. Beautiful day, supposed to be 75 degrees. Pretty nice for the Upper Peninsula and on the first day of autumn. Here's another view of the Upper Falls. Kind of nice. It's early morning right now. It's probably 9:40. Got the falls with the sun shining on it. Sandra over there. And we're going to go look at the brink. Now we're at the brink platform at the Upper Falls. We're looking upriver. This river goes all the way up to Newberry, then past Newberry to the Dollarville Dam, and it floods, or it drains thousands of acres of swampland. And tamarack and cedar turns the water brown from all the tannins in the water. We're going to turn around now and look at the falls. Now again, this is the fall of the year, so the flow rate isn't that great, not like it is in the spring, but it's still very beautiful. Nice place to go. And come over here and kind of show you the falls itself. A little bit better shot. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's a lot of mist out here from the water coming down. That's looking downriver towards the lower falls, where we'll be going next. This is the lower falls on the first day of fall. A little bit different landscape than the Upper Falls. Smaller waterfalls, but lots of them. You can see the area over there where the Tunerville trolley lets you off. The boat ride goes up the Tequamanon River. And looking up the river. This little trickling waterfall on the island there. Another nice shot of the Upper Falls. This is on the trail leading towards the lower falls. I'm not doing that whole walk because they don't have the shuttle running this year, but it's a pretty little spot. Zoom in and take a look at the far side of the falls over here. Very nice. Okay, here we are off the shores of the cabin. This is our little Hiawatha cabin community right here. Out in Whitefish Bay. Starting to get a little bit of colors. I'm looking south towards the river mouth and the Curly Lewis. I don't know if you can see Sandra sitting on the deck. The cabin. Dave and Deb's. Of course, that's ours. The Culps, the Moons, and the Zigglers. So it was a pretty fair summer up here. Got a little bit of work done. A beautiful fall day. And that's it.